Hi guys, if you want to learn how to make this, definitely keep watching. See you in my tutorial. I'm gonna make something great. That's my... Hey guys, this is Cello the Fashion Fairy and you're welcome to my channel. So this is what today's tutorial looks like. The finished shirt dress. So remember that you can adapt this into however style line you wish. If you wish for the gathers by the waist side to be more than this, you can definitely spread it more. But this is what it looks like, and come with me, let me teach you how I was able to achieve this. So here I've already made some vertical lines, of course, from my shoulder to my bust point, from my shoulder to my waist, and so on. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So these are the things I'll be using to draft this pattern. Of course, I have my curve and so on, my pencil. So I left 1 inch margin here, and I got all my measurements, my vertical measurements, from that shoulder line up there. And you can see my bust line, my waistline, and my hip line. Do well to use your measurements. And for the chest line, I marked 2.5 inches above the bust line. So for the width of this, I used 3 inches. Because I'm going to be using this to draft my front and back, I'll be using 2.5 inches for the depth of my front, and I'll be using 1 inch for the depth of my back. This will serve as my back neckline, and this will serve as my front neckline. So for the shoulder slope, I used 1 inch for both the front and the back. On my chest line, I divided my bust measurement by 4, and I added 1/2 inch of ease, and I placed this measurement on my chest line. I divided my waist measurement by 4, and I placed what I had on my waistline. For my hip, I divided my hip measurement by 4, and I also placed it on that line right there. So because this is a shirt pattern, we'll be adding ease to this. Please note that my client wanted it very fitted. But if you want yours to be a bit bigger, you can add as much as 1.5 inches. So I added 1/2 inch to all the measurements, the waist, the hip, and the bust. But do well to add whatever you feel is sufficient for you. And if you don't want it to have as the waistline to be a bit taken in, you can mark from the bust to the hip and then go in 1 inch by the waist. So having connected all my markings, I marked a straight line from my hip all the way to the length of this paper. Remember that this is not the actual length that we're working with, but you have to make sure that whatever you have at the hip goes all the way down. So do well to blend in any point that you feel is a bit too curved. So I noticed the waistline was too curved, so I came out by 1/4 inch and I connected this with a smooth curve. Using my curved ruler, I'm connecting from the shoulder slope all the way to my bust measurement that is on my chest line. And this would be our back armhole. I'll be adding 1 inch dart to the back. So let me quickly clean this off so that I don't confuse you. Remember, we're using this pattern to draft both our front and our back patterns. Since it's a shirt pattern, it's almost the same. But we're going to also be working on the front pattern to create an extension for the button and also slash and spread it. So I'll be adding 1 inch dart to this, and then I'll be showing you how you're going to be doing this. So I'll be adding 1 inch allowance to this, and this would be my dart allowance for the back. So I'll be connecting it all the way to the chest line and then all the way into the hip line. Remember I said earlier that this is the front pattern while this is the back pattern. So this is me labeling it to make sure you're not confused. So for our dart for the back, I used her nipple to nipple measurement, which was 5 inches, sorry, and I marked 5 inches above her waistline and also 5 inches below her waistline, and I drew a straight line touching both points. So the length of the entire dart was 10 inches. Remember, the dart is only applicable to the back, and because we added 1 inch to the back, we're going to be taking ½ inch on both sides, and this would form our dart for the back. This is now our back dart. So going in with my scissors, I'll now be cutting out the back pattern. Coming in with another pattern paper, I'm going to be tracing out the back pattern. So I want to use this original pattern to slash and spread it for the front. So to do this, I'll be using my tracing wheel. But please make sure you place the papers well so that they are both properly aligned before you do this. Here is my tracing wheel, and I'll be doing this off camera. So I already did that, and here is my front pattern. So I'll be tracing out the back pattern from this so I can use this as my front pattern. So do well to use whichever you prefer. If you prefer to trace out your front pattern, then this is totally up to you, but I'll be using this as my front pattern. I tore my paper while I was trying to transfer this, so I used a tape to hold it together. So from my waistline, I marked 3 inches up, and from my waistline also, I marked 3 inches down. So do well to expand this or reduce it as you may desire. Going in with my ruler, I marked a straight line. And placing my tape, I marked 1 inch apart, and this would enable me mark straight lines in order for me to slash and spread this accordingly. You can choose to make yours ½ inch apart, or you can choose to make yours bigger. Going in with my scissors, I will be slashing this through. Please cut 2 and not through this. Please, it's quite tricky, but you can do it. So this is what I have so far, and in my next video I'll be showing you how I place this on my fabric and how I spread this. Please look out for my next video. Thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe, share and like this video if you found it helpful. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.